Hi everybody, Lisa with 5 Salted Lemons. I gotta tell you, I'm so excited today. It's feeling kind of fallish outside, and I am cooking up 2 things today. And actually, they start out really similarly, so I wanted to be able to share that to you. The first is a delicious French onion dip, right? Instead of that package mix that you're gonna use, you're gonna make it from scratch, and it's so darn easy, you are gonna love it. The second part of that is turning that just one more step into some French onion soup. It's the bomb. Stay with me, you're gonna love it. One of the first steps that you need to do is have patience, because let me tell you, those onions that are on the stove right now, pretty big pot of them. I want to say I used 3 super big ones and then 2 smaller white onions, not the red ones, by the way, right? So while they're caramelizing, while you're taking that time, because you want to get the most flavor out of them, so you want to keep them on the stove, but I got my other things ready so I could share them with you. So I'm stepping it out today, changing it up just a little bit. I know everybody's into healthy things these days, right? So this French onion soup can be healthy for you. So actually, I'm using some bone broth. This actually came in individual packets. So it's so cool. It's kind of like, you know, what you'd buy, the bouillon sort of thing, except it's healthy. So I did 2 packets of that at 8 ounces a piece. So I've made this little, just put it in the microwave and reconstituted it. I also have some organic beef stock, just in case I need some more. I'm going to add some water too if I need to. And part of the really good flavor of this too is I got to add in a little brandy and a little sherry. How's that sounding? One of my super duper tools that I cannot live without is my mandolin. So there's many different versions on the market. This one is super light and easy, which I really love. There's some that come on a stand. They're pretty heavy. But I gotta tell you, I've pretty much used the same blade in this for years. You really need, I had the experience of not doing this properly and not using the guard when I put my onion or my apple or what have you on there. And I gotta tell you, I use it every time now. So you might wanna consider a super lightweight one like this and versus the heavier version that's a little bit more bulky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just transfer some of these onions to another pot for the dip. Even though they're using the same ingredients, I want to go ahead and move my broth into my big pan of onions here now. So that's where we're going. So the onions look like they're ready for this soup, but for the dip, I want them to be a little bit more caramelized. So I'm going to scoot them some out of this pan into another one for a little more depth of flavor. Adding the bone broth right now. Remember, it doesn't have to be bone broth. I've got some other broth with me just in case. Why not throw in a bay leaf and a little thyme, right? Just a pinch. You know how I like to punt like that. A little sherry in the pot. Just a little. To your taste, of course. Why not add a little Worcestershire to this? Because I'm going to add it to both of them, so why not just put it in? Just a pinch. So once you've transferred your onions to another pan, if you want to do these 2 things at one time, I just want to bring this to a boil, get the flavors and the aromas, have that bay leaf sort of set in along with that thyme, and let that aroma hit you. And while we've got the boil starting to boil here on this soup, we've got the other onions in the pan, bringing about a little bit more caramelization for the dip. It's going to be fabulous. All right, these onions are starting to caramelize. I took it off the flame because I don't want to have a little fire going on, right? Just going to add just a little bit of brandy. I can smell that aroma. A little bit of sherry. You know what, this is all to taste. Adjust to your own seasonings. And of course, just a shot of Worcestershire. Do you say Worcestershire? Worcestershire? Whatever you like. This is smelling so great, and I am just going to put it back on the stove, caramelize those onions just a little bit more, and wait for all those flavors to get melded in. Okay, so you always want to taste as you're going along, right? Because you can always add some more flavor if you need to. So let me see, this is super hot. Bear with me. I always seem to burn myself, right? Oh my gosh. It tastes so rich, and I can taste the sherry and the Worcestershire in there. It's kind of got a nice sweetness to it. That's because we did great things with those onions. So I have another little trick for you. So you can buy these very cute, very festive, very holiday-ish or dinner-ish puff pastry shells. You could put your onion dip in this if you'd like to and throw it under the broiler. I like to use the little tiny ones, and these are a little bit bigger, so I'm not going to do that today. What I'm going to do is use a beautiful little loaf of bread. I'm going to pop it in the broiler with the Gruyere cheese on top of it, and then place that in my bowl just in case somebody wants to be healthy and doesn't want the bread and cheese. I'm so excited to try this. I'm going to grab my little measuring cup I'm using as a ladle. Oh, that looks so yummy and good. And I've got a yummy piece of French bread in the oven that I'm going to pop on the top with this. So that means if you have somebody who, is dairy-free, gluten-free, you don't have to serve them that part of it. Here we come with the final process here. I broiled a nice piece of this French bread, melted a little Gruyere cheese on it, and it looks and smells so good. Finishing up this homemade onion dip. I was going to call it French onion dip, and I guess it is French onion dip, right? Say that 3 times quickly. All right, so I'm going to add some sour cream. I think with this, just in the amount, it's probably just going to be maybe about 1/3 of a cup or so, maybe a little bit more. You can adjust as you go along. You know how I like to punt like that. Okay, if you want to do a squeeze of mayo, you can, just a little bit, or not, right? Love that we're going to mix it up. I've let these onions cool a bit. So, and there's my puppy River. She thinks she's going to get some of this. It is not happening, I tell you. So you just want to mix this up. And let me tell you, this is as good tomorrow as it is today. So it is something you can make in advance. You just want to take it out of the refrigerator and let it soften back up again. But I'm hoping that you're going to love this instead of using the powdered kind, as we talked about. Yeah, that was plenty of sour cream. That 1/3 of a cup or so was just about right. Again, as much as you want, right? So I'm going to put it in a cute dish because you know what I think about the presentation of it, right? So I'm just going to pop it right into this dish. Move this around. Oh my gosh, I can smell those delicious onions from here, I'm telling you. So homemade onion dip. I've got some nice ruffled chips. You know the guys will love this on game day, right? So game day or anytime, holiday time, game time, this is all about you and the flavors of the onion dip. Have a great day.